I'm Aden Matthews.
And I'm Zach Snyder.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
The show where, I'm sure you've seen the title, we've got a lot of YouTube news to talk about today. I wanted to get the hottest news out of the way first. The next Kingdom Hearts game will be featuring the racist cats from the Aristocats. That's
Whoa!
right. That's right.
Wow.
Honor of the classic Disney film's 50th anniversary, Square Enix held a press conference back on. This is like a 7-8 month old article. I thought this was like brand new.
Oh
fuck! we're
might
late.
Have already come out.
We're late.
Might already come out.
Maybe this was in Kingdom Hearts 3 and I didn't know about it.
We just missed it. The racist cats. Wow.
Racist cats from Aristocats.
You think like Donald and Goofy sing along with them, and everybody wants to be a cat?
For like a solid 2 seconds, I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I tried to get the Donald Duck impression out and sing like the cats do in Aristocats? And I was like, no, because that would be racist, because that's what Disney did. It was not okay then.
That's
so
100% what they did. I'm glad you thought through it a little bit more than Disney did at the time.
Yeah, I usually think through things before I do them, which is a good quality to have.
But also, on another note, I cannot do a Donald impression. I think he's a funny motherfucker.
It's hard to do.
I cannot get that voice.
I don't think
I can do Goofy.
I don't think I can either.
Mickey, sure. Donald, how? How? Where do you even begin?
My dad used to be really good at it, and I think I tried when I was younger, but it's been a long time since I've tried, so I'm not about to try right now. But it's not easy.
Save that for the personal channel.
Yeah.
Zach attempts Donald Duck impression for 10 minutes.
Anyways, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back.
We're back. Last episode was a little bit of a doozy, but we're coming in hot right afterwards. Talk about some news.
Was that a Groundhog Day reference? You just did.
Was
right
it?
Yeah, where Ned talks to Phil, and Phil steps in that puddle of water, and Ned's like, that first step was a sure doozy, wasn't it? And he does that fucking horrible laugh.
No, I forgot about that.
So you were like, that funny. Last episode sure was a doozy. And I'm like, that's just what I thought of.
I was just saying it was a doozy. It's a good movie, though. You watched it. You watched it earlier.
I did. It's very enjoyable.
One of my all-time
It's very
favorites.
Similar to how this podcast goes, where it's like a cycle that never ends. And we start the episodes off the same way and they end the same way. But every time we record them, there's something new in the middle. But in reality, it's just a very sad existence. Talking about YouTube for a couple hours, only for none of it to matter. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Zach?
We have two really big, they're minor. They're not that big. Two things. YouTube introducing something for people to get paid in another way, and then Twitch introducing something for people to not get paid in a certain way. So we'll be talking about those two things.
The dichotomy of man.
The dichotomy of man, yeah.
Money and no money.
Money and no money. Speaking of money, our sponsor today, Awesome Creator Academy. They're back. They listened to the last episode. They did not approve, so we're going to have to do a regular ad read today. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's definitely
when
not.
Corporate does that. Send us a note.
It's definitely got nothing to do with me not finding a funny way to introduce it this week. It's really just got to do with Awesome Creator Academy. Not happy with our ad.
The corporate agenda ruining the podcast again. I hate to see it.
So our sponsor today is Awesome Creator Academy with the YouTube Starter Kit. If you're getting started on YouTube and you have a little bit of money to throw around, check out the YouTube Starter Kit for only $99. $1,500 of value. Over dozens of downloads from templates for advanced YouTube thumbnails, channel artwork, end cards, lower thirds, royalty-free background music, fonts, and more. Pay one price. Have unlimited access to future downloads as they come out. Check out the link in the description of the show notes. In doing so, you'll be supporting another YouTube podcast.
Nice. Nicely done. Let me pull up the script here. Hold on.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Oh, here it is. But of course, if you do not have $100 and you still want to support podcasts, you can become a supporter on Anchor, At anchor.fm/another-YouTube podcast, you can decide to support us financially at $1, $5,
Yay. Yay!
Or $10 a month,
Ooh,
and we'll
yeah.
read your name on the podcast. While we plan to do this podcast for a really long time, wink, the more financial support we have, the easier it'll be for us to maintain a consistent schedule. Wink. I don't know why that was written in the script, but
I don't
add it in
know,
there.
but I will BRB. I gotta answer my phone.
The telephone. Maybe it is corporate. They're finally getting to Zach. Roberto Blake is calling him up on the phone right now. He's like, why'd you read the ad read in a funny voice? I told you not to do that. It's not what Roberto sounds like. He's a very lovely gentleman. We appreciate his sponsorship and all he does for the YouTube community. Watch one of his videos not too long ago. He was over there talking about
Yeah, okay.
how to get 1,000 subs. Very cool. Oh,
that was in fact Roberto Blake. He said that he approved of the ad read this time.
He liked it? Good.
And he was curious about the winks that you added, but all in due time. All in due time. So
it's good. Glad Roberto's keeping up with you, as you all should, by clicking the link in the description below to check out Awesome Creator Academy.
Never have truer words been said. Aden, question: What is YouTube adding to their beautiful platform this week? What's
a load of bullshit, more like. Let me tell you. So, being that I work on this podcast with Zachary, I am more patient to the YouTube news cycle, which very often is just like, we changed a word in our terms of notice and now we're sending an email to you, and it's like, cool, whatever, I don't give a shit. But sometimes they actually be sending some interesting things, and this was one of them. The newest member of the Super family, Super Thanks. So what are Super Thanks? Well, they enable fans to support their favorite channels while giving creators access to a new source of revenue. It's essentially just donating money. That's all it is.
It's another donate
so if you've used super chats on YouTube live streams, you can send money over to the streamer, and then your little message will show up and get highlighted. Now it's that, but for YouTube videos. So you can donate directly to a video that'll go to the creator, and you can leave a little message that people will see. And I don't know. It's just kind of cool because YouTube as a platform, while you can make money on it, it is very much through other means rather than fan-supported. Twitch as a platform, its whole culture is around like fan-supported monetization. Where do you get money from on Twitch? Through donations, through bits, through subs. Everything comes from the members of the site. YouTube, they kind of want you to get the watch hours and the subs and then use ad revenue to do it. But as Twitch gets bigger, as Patreon becomes more of a thing, YouTube's starting to be like, okay, well, maybe we should give other options that we can take a cut of because we're Google. So let's introduce some things. So we had Super Chats, now Super Thanks is here, which I think is pretty cool. They show an example on this blog article where they hit the thanks button on mobile, and then you can leave $2, $5, $10, or even $50. And then when you do it, it'll show up down there in the comments so you can easily see who donated and whatever. And it's just a nice little way to support creators because, Patreon is a monthly thing, and it's very much like you have to be into somebody in order to donate to a Patreon, where I feel like Super Thanks is like, if you just get a really good video, if someone just puts their heart and soul into a really good video, but you don't want to sub to them, you don't really want to watch them, you don't want to leave a like because you don't like your liked videos playlist getting too big, I could easily see myself being like, you know what? This was actually a really good tutorial. I'm never going to watch any of your shit again, but here's $10. You did a great job. And then go on my way. You know?
I agree.
So I feel like this supports, if there's a really good video out there by a creator and you just want to help them in a different way, Super Thanks provides that, and I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I think you do have to be at a certain size.
You have to be a partner, is the thing.
Right. So, that 1,000 subs, 4K watch time, that's also important to get this. But, as we said before, it's the YouTube keeps adding these layers of monetization, which is really nice. I feel like it's funny because the Twitch news that we're gonna have is gonna be something that like YouTube has done such a long time ago, while in the process, as Twitch is like working on their problems that YouTube's already solved, YouTube is working on their problems that Twitch has already solved.
Twitch is already solved.
So it's really funny to see how everything is kind of going in tandem like that. But yeah, it's a really cool feature, and I quite like it. I'm sure that if you've given out super chats through or super thanks, those comments will probably go up towards the top. So that'll be cool if you want to see if you want your comment to be shown. Mm-hmm. Also, I should say, well, first off, I do have to say the first time I found out about this information wasn't through you, Aden. It was actually through Jax Films on Twitter, who I haven't watched his videos in a while, but he tweeted out, "You can now simp for your favorite YouTubers." I just did, and it's him giving $50 to himself. And I thought it was pretty funny.
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if you wanted to make a video seem more hype, you just go on a different account and donate $20 to yourself and be like, "Look, someone else already did. You should too."
Yeah, sure.
If you wanted to be a money laundering scheme, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you will be giving YouTube money basically at that point.
Yeah. You're not getting anything back from that because YouTube does take a cut. They mentioned that this is their 4th digital paid good. Do you know the other 3 off the top of your head?
So it'd be Super Chat, right?
Yep, that's number 2.
Super Chat, Super Thanks. They got those stickers.
Mm-hmm. Super stickers, which I've never heard of before until reading this article.
Yeah, and then probably their paid subscription model that you can do, which I forgot what it's called. Channel memberships. Yeah.
Yep, those are the 4. I think out of all of these, Super Thanks is the best of the bunch. Because I don't know people who use channel memberships. Stickers are nothing. Money-wise at all. Yeah. Super Chat is kind of cool, but it's only for live streams. Super Thanks is the most direct way of the bunch and obvious that people will know how to use and care about.
Right.
So I'm glad that 4th time's the charm here. We're getting something that's actually kind of useful. Hopefully they support it and don't drop it right away.
They tend to do that, but sure. Yeah, I agree. I did want to quickly say that YouTube is in a beta for timed comments. So certain videos, you can go down to the comments, at least on mobile, I've noticed with a couple of videos. You can change the comments organization from newest and best to timed, and it'll show you anytime anybody put a timestamp of the video in their comment. So,
which is kind of cool.
I agree. I think it'd be cool if every video or every comment that was ever made had the timestamp at which they commented that video. That way if somebody's like, "Man, this is a dumb video," and they commented at the 5-second mark, you're like, "Yeah, I can just delete this and go on with my life." But
not only that, it would prevent people from leaving dumb comments like that to begin with, because then you just get ratioed.
True.
Out of existence. But that's another cool thing.
Can I mention this on the podcast? Twitter is talking about having a dislike button. You have any thoughts on that?
I kind of like it.
I do too.
Personally. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh no, people are just going to dislike Bob and Twitter's toxic." And it is. It is.
Yeah. True. Facts, best.
But I'm thinking about a world where I'm scrolling through the timeline and I immediately see a post with 12K dislikes, and I'm like, "Oh cool, it's trash, I can move on." That's a good signifier to me of cool, awesome. Other people think this take is shitty. I have no need to interact, respond, or read it and move on. And like I said earlier about the YouTube comment thing with the timestamp, hopefully it'll prevent people from just saying garbage if they know they're going to get disliked to oblivion for saying dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Now, Twitter will probably fuck it up in some way, and that I'm worried about, but I like the idea.
It currently says that and this is also in a beta testing. Not everybody's getting this currently, but downvotes won't be public, so you'll only be able to see the upvotes. But yeah, they're talking about completely changing to an upvote downvote situation, so the like button would just be gone. Yes, you know, whatever. I like the idea, like you said, because it's cool to like see that a lot of other people think this is cringe, and I can just move on with my day.
Yeah, I like it on YouTube a lot. The dislike button underrated.
I agree. I do it with certain things. Twitter
Very
also
helpful.
got rid of fleets, and that's really funny.
What was Fleets? I don't even remember what Fleets was.
I don't think anybody does.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Is that a bit, or are you like dead ass don't remember?
No, I don't.
Okay. Jay and I have made multiple jokes about it in the past, so I wasn't sure. It was their like story feature. So you know, like Instagram stories, Facebook stories, that kind of thing. It was that, but on Twitter. And Twitter was noticing that a lot of people are just putting their tweets on that and sharing it through fleets and not using it for literally anything else. Which, like, yeah, right? Why would you?
Comes down to how people use the platform, man. You can't just
Exactly.
take a feature from another platform if that platform will not support that type of content. There's like what really bothers me about like IGTV in retrospect.
Yeah.
It's like you are a photo-based platform to expect people to do vertical video originally and not just steal shit from TikTok and other places and just post it on IGTV. Yeah, that comes with a little bit of a not quite the fit for the members of this platform kind of thing. Whereas YouTube Shorts, I can at least see, like, it's a video content platform. People make videos on their phone already on YouTube and post TikToks already on YouTube. Why not fulfill that ecosystem more? To me, it's a better fit.
It's funny that you mentioned IGTV because Instagram, the CEO of Instagram put out like a few months ago and said that Instagram's no longer a photo only platform. They're like they've fully embraced video to the point where used to at the very bottom in the center you would have the add button where you could add a photo or a video. Now it's their Instagram Reels, which is just TikTok. Like immediately, it's just there in the middle. So they're trying to get people to watch primarily video on their platform.
I'm gonna make a prediction
weird.
here, and this is not knowing anything about Instagram or having ever been involved in that ecosystem before. I could be completely talking out of my ass. I think that hurts them long run.
Probably,
5 years from now, I think that hurts them. Yep.
Yeah,
if
just because it used to be
and
primarily...
only if TikTok and YouTube don't go away, which I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
If they both stay and are at the point where they're at now, being a third place shorts content when you were number one in photos, I can only see you losing money and losing members. But I could be wrong. But I'm gonna make that prediction that like 5 years down the line, that hurts them.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. The only issue though is that Instagram is owned by Facebook, which means ultimately it won't matter. Facebook
it won't
will
matter.
Do something
them.
to pick it up or do something different, or Facebook's quirky like that, and unfortunately they're not really in a losing place right now. So.
I think Snapchat's the same way, right?
Yeah,
where
Snapchat has been doing some weird things, and like I just don't care personally.
Where Snapchat will never be a dead platform. I don't think Instagram will ever be a dead platform. They're like too big at a certain point. But I think the other option that people don't talk about is like dead doesn't mean necessarily shut down. It could just mean lack of relevance. And I think that's what's happened to Snapchat. It is not relevant anymore. And I feel like Instagram could potentially go down that road if it is a second or third place and not competing in what makes its own self unique. Then, yeah, I could see it being less relevant over time.
But is it less relevant in general, or is it just less relevant to you? Right? I think that's also an issue that I'm starting to see, where it's like there was a time and place where Facebook was super relevant to me, and now it is very much not so. Yet there's a lot of 50, 60-year-olds that are using Facebook every day. That's their platform.
I think the difference there for me is I wouldn't call Facebook relevant currently.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah.
And that's coming from me not using it, me not wanting to use it.
Yeah.
I cannot with a straight face call it irrelevant like I can Snapchat and several platforms. And I don't think Instagram is there yet. To be fair, I don't think they are there yet.
That's true.
But you know, being in a relevant kind of site is almost worse than death. Like, you can go down the Mixer road and Vine road if you want, but it's almost sadder if you're like still open and still an option and just nobody uses you anymore.
Trying to think of like an example, and I guess it's like MySpace.
Snapchat's my big one. MySpace is one. Yeah.
Like, you can still use MySpace, but nobody.
A lot of D-Live. D-Live's a very irrelevant platform.
D-Live.
Still open technically.
Don't think it ever was relevant, but you know.
Yeah.
Snapchat's an interesting one.
VidMe.
I've heard some things about like Snapchat trying to get bigger and doing some other things, but it was such a thing where I didn't have a way to use Snapchat when it was super relevant for people my age, and by the time I did, I felt like I aged out. I felt like it was mainly a teenager thing. Like a lot of people thought TikTok was.
Right.
But
I think TikTok's a fun one because we talked about Musical.ly on this podcast at one point.
Dude, I had a Musical.ly account. My Musical.ly account transferred to a TikTok account.
Yeah.
Right when
we talked about Musical.ly at the time, and we were like, yeah, it's just kind of a goofy little whatever site for kids or whatever, but it's not going anywhere. And then Vine takes a step out, and we're all like, where's Vine 2? Where's Vine 2? And then Musical.ly is just like, I'm Vine 2, bitch. TikTok.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But TikTok is a very rare example where they took a service and completely and radically not only changed it, but like consumed culture in a matter of a year or two.
Yeah.
And that is not what I think is going to happen with a Snapchat or an Instagram.
I agree. Yeah.
Maybe they do, but I just don't. If I can't recommend it to anyone, if I can't see a path forward for anyone, then it's very hard for me to be like, yeah, it's irrelevant. I didn't think Mixer was at the time, you know, but I can at least say it for Facebook gaming because people are making money off of it. Like, there's an audience. Right.
And even Facebook has their groups, which I still think is very helpful and useful if you don't want to get on Discord or something, you know, but it's like Snapchat. I couldn't tell you one thing that it does that other platforms don't already do.
Yep. And if Instagram turns into primarily video, then I have no reason to recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll see.
We will
kind
see.
of a little bit off topic here, and just Aden trying to predict the social media landscape, which always works out well, and I'm always right. So
you do have a pretty good record of being right when it comes to that stuff, though. Like,
let it be known.
You know, I was the dumbass that was like, I'm gonna make some IGTV content, and you were the one where it's like, you know, don't really think IGTV is gonna do anything. So, you know,
you were right on the idea of short vertical content. True. You were not right about the platform.
True. Yeah. Very, very true. Anyways, let's take a step back. Just wanted to mention those other things because they technically are fairly new and relevant. I thought it'd be interesting to bring them up. But what's going on with Twitch? They being quirky.
So, Twitch has been in, I'm gonna call it the DMCA shitstorm for about a solid year or now.
Yeah.
It seems like as time passes, it gets worse for them. Competition springs up. There's so many, like, we thought Monster Cat was like the only one, or Epidemic Sound, but now there's like Stream Beats and all these companies that are just literally making a profit out of Twitch's inadequacies when it comes to copyrighted music and live streams. It's wonderful. Wonderful to talk about. But recently, Twitch has been trying to fix that, and they put out a roadmap of all the things that they would like to do to try and help fix the situation. A lot of it is focused on VODs. So, like, the ability to unpublish individual VODs. Can't believe that wasn't already a thing. Select all VODs to unpublish. Select batches up to 20 to delete. Select all of them to delete. Watch them in a video producer. Like, things that can help you get through it. But out of all the interesting things that they mentioned in this roadmap that started in Q4 2020 and is set to last Q4 this year, 2021, one of the most interesting ones was the copyright claims manager. Be like, kind of heard that before. What is that exactly? And it is dead ass a 3-strike system regarding copyright claims. And if you hit those 3 strikes, you're like put on a little kind of a blacklist, if you will, and Twitch will have to review after a 6-month period if you were good enough to be able to continue to try and make money off of it. So they're just trying to give another tool to try and deal with copyright claims, which I think is kind of cool. Also, like you said, very much a YouTube problem first, that Twitch, after a year, is finally like, yeah, fuck trying to be original. Let's just verbatim steal that shit and use it for our own. And good for them. Good for them.
It's not a bad
that
thing.
A month afterward. Yeah.
Right. It's one of those things when we talked about like YouTube alternatives to YouTube. We're talking about very big problems that we're gonna make alternatives to YouTube practically impossible. Like one of those top 3 was copyright and handling it in a way that copyright holders are gonna be okay with. And it's like YouTube figured that out, and they were the first one to figure it out, and now everybody else has to follow suit because Twitch is more relevant and popular than it ever has been. Therefore, those music producers want their money, and so
they're gonna get it
unfortunately,
one way or another.
They're gonna get it, yeah.
But now you can submit counter notifications. So if you feel like it's been unjustifiably put, you can send the counter. It'll be reviewed. There's a repeat infringer policy, like I mentioned earlier. Just very much like simple little things to add that wasn't just, hey, what if you could take a VOD and like delete it or watch it? Like, this is actually, I think, a prominent step in the right direction.
I think the only thing that worries me right now is that, unless I'm wrong, it does seem like if your video is claimed at all, that is a strike. Mm-hmm. And unless you're able to get it, retracted, that will be a strike. And so you got to be very careful with what you put out there on Twitch.
Yeah.
Unlike YouTube, where there's like a certain amount of leeway, usually you can get copyrighted claimed for something.
On it.
They'll just put an ad. Fine. Right. Yeah. But these are like,
we're very much past the days where your channel could get taken down for having like a copyright strike immediately from a video just posted up out of nowhere.
Right. Right.
YouTube gives you a little bit of a warning sign beforehand, and like, hey, maybe you should fix that. I literally this week, I didn't even mention on your week on YouTube, but I had money from Patreon and shit, and I'm just like, I've had these 4 claims from Epidemic Sound that have been bothering me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get another month. So I paid for a month, then literally emailed Epidemic Sound and was like, hey, I'm paying for your service. Why are there 4 claims on my videos? And they responded literally a day later and went, oh, yeah, there's a good point. We'll get rid of them. And they did. They're all gone.
Nice.
And then when that month runs out, I'm probably just going to continue doing my thing. But as funny as that is, they are very lenient on that sort of stuff. And I hope Twitch gets to that point where we can be a little bit reasonable with it. But this is a good first step. It's nowhere near as good as YouTube's copyright claim manager, obviously.
Right. I feel like this is going to be very important to make sure that people aren't streaming full episodes of Pokemon or, just flat out playing a Kendrick album in the background really loud and you can barely hear the person speaking. Like, things like that. I feel like most people are going to be okay and won't have anything taken down. But they really got to make sure these big channels that are just outright stealing content, similar to early YouTube where people were just uploading television scenes and movies, right? 100%. It's the same thing. Eventually, hopefully, it'll get more nuanced where you can do the whole fucking, what's it called? Like, free, damn, I really don't know what I'm talking about today.
You waiting for it?
I'm waiting for it. Fair use, right?
Fair use. There.
Eventually, hopefully, they'll get towards the fair use thing. But,
and they have some
we'll
different
see.
things down the road as well, like multi-track audio support in Twitch Studio, which they've already added for OBS, but that'll help Twitch out. More clips. They're planning on doing a re-architecture of the clips database so they can have better filtering and deletion capabilities. Better DMCA tooling on the back end will help a lot. And again, all getting toward that counter notification that you can just do from the creator dashboard. That's the final thing they have here.
Yeah, I'm hoping after they get through these, which we'll have the article in the show notes or the description, you can check it out specifically. But I'm hoping after they get done with all of this, they'll do a retooling of the creator dashboard so it's not so stupid.
So it's not so ugly looking.
It just makes no sense. There's like 3 different ways to get the different settings, all of which should be in like one specific place. I don't get it.
Like here's a fun one. I'm at the homepage of Twitch right now. I click on Blue Couch Productions. We have an online option, share my activity, and then channel, video producer, and channel dashboard. And still to this day, I look at these 3, and I'm like, okay, but which one to get to the back end? Channel, right, makes sense because it's like my channel, so maybe my settings are there. But no, that just takes me to the chat page. Video producer makes sense. Like, that sounds like a back-end tool, but no, it's only one specific part of the back end.
Yeah.
And then it's actually creator dashboard. But damn if all 3 of those don't sound the same, and I still click on video producer to this day thinking it is that, and it's not. And that's a simple, like, literal homepage, hover over Blue Couch Productions, first click to even get to it. Mm-hmm. And not even, like, I'm not even in there yet. And it's already, like, I don't get Twitch sometimes.
Here's something I just learned too. You can like, oh, okay, never mind. This is something completely different. Never mind. Yeah, Twitch is weird, man. They're fucking stupid here. I don't get it. I don't get this at all. Their stream manager is all over the place and weird to follow. You got your analytics, and community stuff are like all weird. There's different, like I said, there's like different settings in their creator dashboard, all of which are for different things. But then also, if I'm not mistaken, some of those other settings you can't even get through the creator dashboard. You have to go through some other place. So hopefully I'm praying for one day I just go to Twitch and it's completely different and a lot more intuitive.
And like simplified.
And they've gotten better with it. I will give them some credit. It used to be worse. They've gotten better with it, but
it is still very much a mess.
I agree.
I would argue I just looked at all my socials. Out of all of them that I have, that's the most complex back end of all of them.
Yeah. 100%.
Patreon's is pretty close though. That one's kind of a mess.
Yeah. Too. Yeah, theirs is really weird too. I don't like.
I just want to update my goals. Is it on the page editor? No, it sure isn't. You got to go to a different menu to do that separately. And it's like I feel like I'm clicking through 3 or 4 menus just to get to. Like, Patreon's not complicated. You send people money, you edit a page, you add posts. Those are the 3 primary functions, and all of them are in 3 radically fucking different places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's stupid.
But it's still not as bad as Twitch.
It's still not as bad as Twitch, no. Nope,
but that's the only comparable one.
There. Yeah.
Not Emma.
Well, I think we covered everything today.
We did. We talked about YouTube. We talked about Twitch. Oh, YouTube Shorts, I think now is going to have the ability really soon to add in music and shit. Like TikTok does.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to mention that. It's literally just like TikTok does. And I think they already do. You can essentially open up a YouTube short on your phone and it'll show you what sound they're using, similar to TikTok. And you can just go from there.
I think there was something I heard about too of like being able to take parts from a YouTube video and take that audio for your short as well. It's not quite copyrighted stuff, but just borrowing parts from other. That one might not be true. I don't know, but I thought I heard that as well.
You might be right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't usually. You can do that. Yeah. You can use the sound.
Good.
It's literally just like TikTok. Which like I get, TikTok took the world by storm on short content, so it makes sense for everybody else to follow them. I
feel like YouTube can compete in the space, so I'm okay with them doing it.
I agree. I still scrolled a little bit through YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels like a week ago just to see what kind of content they were sharing on there. And the inherent problem with these short-based content feeds is that they're 100% algorithm-based. You can follow people and subscribe to people, and there's a chance that those videos will show up first. But other than that, it is entirely dependent on what they want to show you at that moment in time. And what TikTok has over YouTube and Instagram right now is that they have some kind of ethereal, godlike algorithm that just knows what you want to watch.
Immediately? Yeah.
Immediately. I'm very rarely disappointed in what comes across my face on TikTok. And part of that is I've used the platform for a couple of years now. They've got a lot of people that I've followed, commented, and liked, and they're able to tell like what videos I've watched all the way through, which ones I've rewatched, that kind of thing. So there's a leg up on that, right? But it also just seems so much different because I went to Instagram Reels and it was just all Facebook videos from 2012. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like awful pranks and like stupid content for fake families and just nonsense. And I'm sure that's on TikTok too, but I don't see it. I think that's the difference. YouTube is a little bit different. You're getting a lot of like YouTube creators actually trying to make some short based stuff that fits well with their channel. Makes sense. But I haven't spent a lot of time there. I'm still a very big TikTok viewer.
I'm a TikTok stan.
I am
TikTok
a TikTok
for
stan,
life.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I watch a lot of TikTok. It's a little bit of a problem.
If you could go to a TikTok convention, would you? Like a VidCon, but for TikTok.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, like,
here's the thing.
If you're watching videos and you're like, VidCon's a chance to meet some of my favorite people on the platform, maybe make some business connections. If you had that for TikTok and you're like, that's the girl who took her bra off on TikTok and I could meet her in a public setting. Okay, sure.
I was going to say, like,
why not?
There'd be plenty of baddies there, so maybe I'd have a chance,
Yeah.
But it's very doubtable. Plus, I think the one thing that I don't like about TikTok is that I don't really feel connected towards any particular channels or users or creators. There's definitely a couple that I, watch everything that they put out. But I couldn't tell you
nothing
their
on
names
a
right now.
Kind of.
Right.
And standing somebody.
It's a thing where like the content's so short that you're coming there for pure entertainment, or if they've got an educational aspect to it, you're coming for that little tidbit of info you can get. Or if you're horny, you're getting that part. But like besides that, it's so bite-sized and quick that like there's creators I watch every day on there, and I can't tell you their names.
Do you want a really weird political analogy?
Go for it.
I think that TikTok, and by extension, a lot of short form content, is very much like socialism. Everybody. I was going to say like Mitt Romney, but yeah. Everybody begin to share, right? The
You're
views
right.
Are spread out.
You're right. Yeah.
Nobody's winning, but nobody's losing. Whereas YouTube, I feel like, is capitalism. There are most certainly some creators that are absolutely killing it, and that 1% that are at the top are loving it. But then you have like the 99% lower class who are out here struggling, and YouTube will not help them and instead focus more of their time and resources and energy on that 1%.
Yeah.
TikTok, we're shared all around. But I think what that means, though, as a viewer, is if YouTube wants to keep you on their platform for long, then they have to do it by getting you attached to some channel. Anything that you've watched 2 or 3 videos, they are banking on the fact that you find a motherfucker to keep you coming back week to week. TikTok, meanwhile, with everything so short, their way to keep you there for longer is pure variety and nothing else. If they get you attached to a creator, you just watch their catalog and you leave. And then what? You wait for them to post a new video and they only get 1 minute of watch time and you leave the platform again? Like, TikTok can't afford to keep you addicted to one motherfucker. It's just not enough time to have, and there's not big enough catalogs. They want you to check out everything. And both approaches are fine, and I think that's interesting. But that kind of makes me wonder, like, are there really, like, TikTok creators, per se, that are, like, at the top and killing it? Or is it just more of a thing where I'm good at TikTok, but I also do other things because it's spread out more evenly and everybody gets views on TikTok? It's not necessarily a special feat one way or the other.
There's definitely a lot of TikTok celebrities that have like millions of viewers, millions of followers. But it's a thing where, first off, the creator to viewer ratio on TikTok is a lot different than YouTube. There are way more viewers on TikTok than there are creators. Just sheer volume. Less people are creating on the platform than watching. And so that is why, like, in a socialist kind of fashion, any video you put on TikTok has a chance of getting a lot of views just because there are more people watching stuff than creating stuff. But then also, if you look at YouTube, there's a lot of creators. Still, there's more people viewing on YouTube than there are creating, but it's
Smaller,
it's
you think?
been around for a long time. I think it's smaller, and I think it's like when you go to watch a YouTube video, you are looking for some of the best of the best because you're going to be spending at least a few minutes of your time watching this creator. Meanwhile, like you said with TikTok, like, bro, I could see a video that's not even interesting to me and swipe past it, but then the next one be 100% like my thing. And I never know what that next thing is going to be. It's also, it's honestly just addicting. That's what it comes down to.
I'm sure it's a very fun process. And I'm not putting down one system over the other. That's just
for
something
sure.
I've noticed. It's just like,
you're right.
I wonder if there's a case where, there are people who do well on TikTok, sure, but it's not the same as like back in the day when Smosh put out a new video and it was like a religious experience where everybody gathered around to be like, are they going to rap about Pokemon? Is Anthony going to bring out a carrot and food battle? Like this kind of like fandom level shit where it's entirely almost focused on one creator, and YouTube's okay with that because they're longer form videos and they can keep you around for longer.
Right. It was, well, I mean, it was
I feel
like
algorithmically they push these systems. It's not just like strengths and weaknesses. YouTube wants you to find a motherfucker, at least one. Then get you with more, great, but their priority is not variety. Their priority is giving you the one thing you like, and then, not much more after that.
You're right.
That's why I have a harder time finding new shit on YouTube. Or if I wanted new shit on TikTok, it takes 2 seconds, and I'm there.
It's so easy. There's definitely times where I'm watching TikTok and I'd be like, man, I kind of want a little bit more of this, but it's not really easy to find more of that. So you just don't get it. Like, that just
search isn't really like much of a thing though, right? Like
it's
if you're
there,
using it as intended,
but
you're just kind of scrolling.
Yeah, right. The search is more along the lines of like hashtags and songs and creators. You're not really going to be able to like search, I want to watch videos about,
I just mean like
books.
searching for a creator, right? Like I gotta see what the new
right.
Brittany
Very rarely
Parker video is,
Very rarely am I searching for a creator. Usually I forget their name, so I go to my followed list and I'm like, oh, what was their name again? Let me go click on them, see what they've been up to, and go from there. But that's very rare. Usually I'm just scrolling through the For You page. Don't even scroll through my following page. Like the people that I deliberately hit follow, very rarely scroll through that. And usually have a better time when I'm not scrolling through that, which is wild. So, a weird platform for sure. But your analogy makes a lot of sense.
I'm good. I'm glad it wasn't like, no, that was really weird. Why would you compare TikTok to socialism? That makes no fucking sense. I'm glad there was like a little bit of, I kind of see it.
Yeah. I wanted to compare TikTok to Mitt Romney, but your socialism thing made a lot more sense.
Now there's going to be some socialists listening to this and be like, I got to check out TikTok. I'm hyped for all this social. There's not a lot of socialist content. I mean, maybe.
There is actually. There's a lot of like Gen Z, eat the rich. That's where the whole, what's her name? Nico Lowell. She got really big for doing the okay boomer. Yeah. That was all TikTok, baby. Yeah.
Maybe the socialist agenda is thriving on TikTok.
Yeah, it is. Very based.
I agree.
Very based.
I got no problem.
But yeah, cool. Well, we talked about something that wasn't intended once again. So that's cool. This was a little more on topic to the podcast, though, so I'd say that's a plus after last week's.
And we at least covered a variety of news from a bunch of different places.
We did.
It wasn't just YouTube.
We did.
We got some Instagram in there, some Twitter, some TikTok, Twitch, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Last couple episodes went a lot more deep into things than I thought we were going to. So that's cool.
Yeah. Real quick, before we end, because I was interested in when we were talking about like, you know, the primary apps for things, like what do you think are the industry leading platforms for each scene right now?
Okay. So I mean, like YouTube is still video, ones. Right? YouTube is still 100% video. And I don't think you're putting out video content that's not on YouTube first. Twitch is live streams.
I agree with that. YouTube's catching up. They're number 2, but they're not.
They're getting there. But Twitch is live streams. I think in terms of typical influencer marketing is what I'm going to call it. I think that's Instagram. Whether that's images, whether that's video, whether that's like anything in particular. I think if you're trying to be a young, hip influencer, trying to be a model, you're trying to like, you kind of get what I'm saying? That's what Instagram is doing. And then audio is like, we use Anchor, right? To do podcasts. And I think that's still
more of
the
a distribution thing.
Place. It is. I think if you're going for audio to listen, I mean, you're right in between Spotify and Apple Music, and some people die over one of them. So
one of the hills, yeah. One of those.
It's hard for me to,
But really, you don't have to decide. Just pick Anchor and do both.
Just pick Anchor and do both, right.
But if we're talking like audience listening, it's one of those two. For the simplicity of this conversation, just use Anchor and distribute to both. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Then we have short form videos.
Short form content is TikTok.
There. Okay.
100%. Not downing that one. And then written content, like medium.com seems to be the best that I've seen.
LinkedIn probably is a good one for that, I bet.
LinkedIn is pretty good for that if you're doing like really like business oriented stuff. I've yet to see LinkedIn be useful for anything outside of the business sphere. And I've worked on LinkedIn content in the last couple of years, and that is still very, very business focused. And then like
that's all the main ones I know.
That's it. Yeah.
Unless you have more.
I mean, that's really it.
If I want to draw furry porn, Zachary, which site should I go to for furry porn?
Probably DeviantArt. I don't fucking know. Just wherever I'm not at, you know?
Away from me. But no, there's like visual digital artists, right?
Yeah. If you're doing
career through that.
If you're doing art stuff, honestly, I think Twitter.
Twitter right now?
I think Twitter is the place to promote art stuff. Obviously, there's other platforms for that, and more artists know that. But I think Twitter is probably the best place for that. Twitter's also really good for like being in the discussion, you know, the zeitgeist, being relevant. You're gonna go to Twitter to talk about things that are happening in the now. And then if you're trying to communicate with homies, like Discord, right? Discord is a big like community hub thing.
Gilded a slight number 2, like very close for sure,
No,
but not quite.
Gilded ain't that no. Man, the fucking no one cares about your Discord knockoff. Stop.
Skype number 3, Gilded number 2, maybe Gilded for number 3 actually is TeamSpeak, then Skype.
Yeah, I gotta answer this phone call. So you down to end the podcast?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm
All
down.
right. Well, I've been Zach,
And I've been Aden.
and thank you for listening to this episode of another YouTube podcast.
Bye.
Peace. I don't ever want to hear Gilded ever again on this podcast.